Alright, brought up access here. Um, it had to install because I've never actually run it. Shit. Let's say new. In general, so we could do a database. I guess this is the wizards, I don't know. Office 97 template. Event management, expenses, asset tracking, ledger inventory control, time and billing, order entry. Let's do one of these. Let's see. No, I don't want it in my documents. This history thing is the most fucking useless tool that they've ever come up with. Like I said, they really had it finally nailed when they chose man. They finally nailed it, with the favorites thing, but holy shit, this sucks. Ugh. Job. Ugh. Shit. Okay. Where the fuck is it? Okay, job training. Now I guess I need to do an access. Videos file. Play file. Okay, time and billing. That's fine. Okay, time and billing database will store client information, project information, time card information, payment information. That's like Access 2000, by the way. Okay, so we can choose the fields we're going to have in our tables. Because the only time I ever used to use Access was when I was doing Visual Basic Database Programming. I'd come in here to have it. I'd make my tables in here, but then I'd access it from Visual Basic. I'd never ever touch this program for anything other than that. But okay. What would you like for this? What style would you like for the screen display? Let's do something. Yeah, that looks great. Casual, bold. Corporate. Yeah, what the hell. Time and billing, let's say works well, time and billing. Do you want a picture on all reports? Sure. And let's put fuck. I'll have to find pictures. Oh god. Yeah. I don't know what these are pictures of. I guess it doesn't let you preview them. Fuck it, I'll put that in there. Okay, that's as good as any. Yeah, start to the database. guess I can give you help files too. You need to enter your company name, address, and related information, okay? Okay, let's make some shit up. Okay, so now what? I'm gonna just close it. Time and billing. Interview clients. Okay. Probably should have just brought up some of their samples, you know. I had to go make up a bunch of bogus information. Let's see, projects. Work code, date entered. Total hours. Okay. Anyway, pretty interesting. Let me try to open well, hell, now I can't get back to the office. Samples. Okay, Northland or orders. Let's open the yeah. Obviously didn't do a good job of it. Okay. Well. Okay, I think this is the actual database. Okay, so here's all the information, so they certainly have some database information in here. So these are the various fields. And for these various tables, shit, what? Sure. Okay, yeah, here's where you define the actual databases. Tables, it's a table editor. Okay, I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to try to create a new database that's simpler. It's the contact management. Let's see what we got here. Leave off fax number. Oh shit. It's like you can't customize it. I guess I can add to it. Why weren't they just grayed out then? The contact ID will be used as a reference to a specific table, but type. Okay, interesting. So this is a lot simpler of a database. At least there's only 3 tables. Again, it's been so long. I haven't messed with databases for 17, 18 years. Okay. Alright, now I'll do this one this time, and that one, why not? See, because it's, god damn it. It's not anymore that I'm trying to find a picture. What? Okay. Interview contacts. Alright, so I guess the ability to do that. I still got a shitload of forms though. Let's see. And here's where I exit the database comes from. Okay, so I assume we're running the database. Surprised they didn't put a file name down there. Okay, so in design view, anyway, I'll look this over. Okay, I created this contact manager, and this is the tools. Relationships, but this shows the relationships of the tables, and I used to know this, but I've forgotten all about it. This table here has a one-to-many relationship, and I don't know what this relationship is because it doesn't really say a 1 to infinity. But anyway, here we got a contact ID. Okay, that's part of here. I guess the ones in bold are key fields. So that's got a key field it, and and it's got a contact. But basically this contact can have calls. Okay, calls is a mini relationship for contacts. So this is a pretty simple database, and you got the contact type, which again I don't quite know what relationship this is, but because I was looking at an Access 2010 video on the internet, and they didn't mention this, but this type, but contact type ID to contact type ID, related table query, so you can see it's related to the contacts table and the contact types table, so this is a relationship between the two, but they're related by this common field. These do not have to be the same name, but it's good practice to make them the same name so it's clear. Include all records from contacts and only those records from contact type where the joined fields are equal. So anyway, now it is a one-to-many, what we got here. So but again, apparently you can have more types. That's really strange, so the arrow pointing like that, because this is a one-to-many, but it's enforced. You can't change the type on it. Well, I don't know. Can't see the relationships either. Okay, there we go. But that's listed as the same one-to-many, but we're relating the calls table, the contacts table, and contact ID in both fields. Okay, now it gets that icon when you do that. Okay, it's only in the enhanced referential integrity that you get that. Okay. But how these tables are edited and all that crap, I don't know. Okay, table design. Okay, so here's the design of the table, and this is where you can add fields and select the data types. So, like that's limited. Text, memo, number, yes, no, etc. This is an auto number, so every time a new variant of the table is added, it'll auto number it. So, and then you can see this more elaborate table here, which has more data in it. But like I said, it's one-to-many. Okay, contact is the basis or the heart of the table. Okay. But I'm still not quite sure on the contact type. I mean, does this arrow mean that, I don't know, contact ID, I don't really see in here. Let me see what it was. Contact type ID. There supposedly is a contact type ID in there too. Oh, there it is. Okay, so it's not a key field. think a key field, is going to be used for primary index relations and so forth. It's like we got, one of these tables, one contact can have many calls, okay? So you got a contact ID here and a contact ID there, relating these two tables together. So when you have a call, it, creates a new entry in the calls table that relates back to a specific contact. So, but it also has its own key field, call ID, for some reason, which may be a searchable field, I don't know. Because nothing relates to it. This doesn't back relate. There's no call ID field here. So it's really just contact ID in both fields, like you can see, that relate the two tables. It's the relational database. But anyway, each call, can have this set of data associated with it. But you could have a whole bunch of customers, with no calls, because nobody's called you, or you neglected to enter data into it. Now the contact types, would, I'm not quite sure what that's, for. In terms of the database, I don't even know why it's there. I don't know what contact type means. I mean, sales call versus whatever, but they don't give you really much in the way of choices. But we can go look at the database, and but it's just text, so I don't know. Let's see. I don't know if you can do like a drop-down list box or anything, because that's what, to me it would seem would be more appropriate. Huh. But if you had a drop-down list box, I don't know. Maybe they have to relate to another table, and it might. So I'm not really sure. It won't allow zero links. Look up, text box, display control. Okay, you can do it as a list box or a combo box. Yeah, but I'm not really sure where it would get its data. Let's do a value list. But how would I enter a value list? Anyway, here's how you enter information. Okay, so those are reports that it generates, and you know, you can enter new contact types in here. I think that might have overwritten the other one that I put in there. I think it did. New record. Oh. Okay. All right. It's a dude's name, but who cares? That's a girl with a dude's name. What is? Anyway, so as it turns out, though, it has its own little drop-down box already, so I didn't have to create one. Oops. So I'm going to design mode, I think, and go back and look at our tables. I don't know what that means. Okay, so here's a list of my calls that we've entered in. Alright, the contact type, we got these. So, and our contacts table looks like this now. What really blows my mind is just the number of the number of forms we have in here. Okay, call details subform. Okay, that's that. Okay, and you can see the data, the properties over here. No events assigned to it. If we go look at like one of these buttons, see option 2, you can see there is an event assigned here, handle button click 2. Let's see. Now you go into the code editor and see all the shit. I don't know where the button event 2 is. Let's see. This thing doesn't have IntelliSense on it, so I'm not really crazy about it. What event was that? On click. So it should be a click event. Where'd the fucking Visual Basic thing go? Click. No, it's form 1 click. Okay, fuck that. I'm not interested in that. I just want to... Damn, this fucking thing doesn't work with a scroll wheel either. Handle button, click, exit. When I resume next, handle button click, error. Apparently, this isn't necessary to edit the code. I mean, most people that use Access don't know how to do the code. But anyway, you can look at it for what it's worth. Again, I don't know what that's the code to. I mean, is that the code to form? Might have been the code to form 1. There's database window. There's not much code here, but here, you can, look at the code, but you don't seem to have that option in this particular window. So I'm not quite sure how they link these to the data sources. Control source. It says nodes. I don't know what I don't know what this is linked to exactly. Okay, so it says calls. I don't know where that form's actually at. Okay, call details subform. Okay, contact type. Let's pull that up. Okay, we looked at that. That had a little database bar on it. Contact type waiter. Control source. Contact type. Okay, let me look at this. The contact types is the database table it should be relating to somehow. These are basically properties, I believe. Color, etc. Do you have a bitmap in it? Special effects, flat, style solid. Okay, is that just for that control? Contact ID. I mean, I don't know if I'm selecting. I don't know why this is selected. Okay, but that would be. There goes the contact types. That's the record source. Okay, but what ties it to a specific field? Let's see. Because again, we got contact type in there. Contact type ID. So I don't know what ties it to the record source itself. Okay, apparently there was an event tied to it, to the form load event anyway. Because I was able to click on it and click on that, that brings up the VB form. So okay, I don't know what that means really. But the only thing that ties it to the table, is this record source, the contact types table. But I still don't know what ties it to a specific field in the table. I mean, this has got to be tied to contact type ID, but I can't select it. Oh, maybe that would help. Okay. Control source, contact type ID. That makes sense. Now, see, this is called the contact type. Control source, it's getting its control source. Okay, database default, it's getting control source from the fields in the table. That's pretty common. But I'm sort of confused why. I mean, where's the database itself listed? I guess I'm supposed to. Well, shit. I mean, see, that's what I'm saying. Well, let's pull. Okay, so contacts, this pulls up the display version of the form, I guess. Okay, change it to form design view. Okay, and, well, let's change it to, well, I don't know how to change it back now. Build event. Ah, shit. Okay, well, like I said, once you go into this mode, you can't get out, so I guess you can't click that. Okay, because I wanted to look at this now. Okay, it's control source data, but what's relating this? Okay, company name, last name, and again, this must be, parts of a given database. Contacts is a database name, but we don't have any other database options that we can pull from here. That's what I'm confused by. First name label. Allow deletions. These are all properties. Expression builder. Then we're going to form design. Okay, that's first name, etc. But where the snot is the database itself related to this? A few events there and everything. So form contacts, that's what it's related to. Sizing response. Okay. Yeah, but I don't know what really relates these. Let's see, form header, what's this? Okay, detail. We've got a form header. I don't know what that means. Yeah, but I just don't know what quite relates these forms. Okay, here's another form, so that's page 2. this is where you entered the contact type and everything. Okay, well this relates to a different database. So contact type ID, but where does it specify which table that's located? First name and last name. Okay. Select destination. This must be an SQL statement. Let's look at it. Yeah, that's the table right here. The field. Okay. But we don't. So we have that query there, but we don't. That row source. Okay, well this is a different type of, this is a drop-down box, so that's why. That's why that's got that information in it. Let's see what this says. Okay, from the contacts table, from that table, because this is certainly different than that last one. This isn't an expression builder though. So, first name and last name, okay, are table entries. So it's getting from two different fields and concatenating them basically. Okay. Yeah, it's just hard to say how these relate, because you can create a new form, okay, but I wouldn't know how to even call it, okay, so these are forms basically that we have in here, report data range, invalid use of null, okay, whatever. I don't know what it would be running. Switchboard. Looks like we're back into the database. And that's an option label, and I don't know where they get that. It's probably some sort of resource file. Where did that table thing go? So this is an option label. Where does this information come from? Because we got no information in there right now. At any rate, this is one of the reasons I never got into Access, because it's just too goddamn confusing. I mean, I don't understand how this is laid out. Now, I could probably figure it out, though, with videos. On YouTube or something, but I'd have to go way back if there's any there, because YouTube didn't exist when this program was out. Let's see, reports, alphabetical, weekly call summary. Okay, So we're back into database mode now. So I guess this is like an alternate window. Okay, pages. No pages in there, macros, modules. You know, the newer, Access certainly looks different. It's got ribbon bars and all that crap, but I still think the principles are the same. But, okay, switchboard items. Here's a table I didn't know of. Okay, so these are the main switchboard and and I'm pretty sure we got sub switchboards too. But that's what I'm saying. It still would have been nice to start with a simpler database. It's like 2 forms in it, and and 2 tables or something like that, 2 or 3 tables, just to see kind of how it all fits together a little easier. This is I just do not know how these forms fucking for sure relate to these tables, and how are these forms brought up. So that's what I'm saying. Is you look at the main switchboard. Well, when I click on this button, okay, it generates this event right here. Okay, handle button click. Okay, fine. What's that supposed to do? I mean, it just brings up this window, so what's that supposed to fucking mean? Because it's on an on-click event, okay, but what's this supposed to mean? I mean, how does this get processed? I don't quite understand, what the fuck is going on here. And that's what makes this so goddamn confusing. That's why it's just easier to create your own standalone VB program than mess with all this, and then you can literally do anything you want with it. The sky's the damn limit. That's why I never got into Access, because it's really puzzling. I don't get how this shit's all supposed to glue together. So it just kind of doesn't make sense. Just from an intuitive standpoint, I just don't see the things I'd expect to see here to relate all these forms to each other and to relate the database to the forms. It's, believe it or not, simpler and at least more straightforward in Visual Basic. At least VB6 it was. VB5 actually. I never did any database programming in VB6, I don't think. But yeah, I mean, it's I don't know. I mean, I just don't know what to make of this shit. We got controls over here, but how does that relate to anything? I mean, let me go try to put a button on this form here while we're here, and try to make it like close or something. See, what action do you want to happen when the button is pressed? Different actions are available for each category. So I can find next, find new record, go to record, record operations, application. See, well, I'd like it to close the form, but I guess that would be the same as quitting the application. Auto dialer, who has those anymore? Run a query. But I'm going to get more into databases though when I get deeper into programming, so I'm not that worried about it. I just kind of want to take a view of it, even if I can't really truly figure it out yet. Okay, open form. Import data range. Let's have it open calls. Okay, well, there's a picture of it in there, but I don't know if I wanted a picture in it because what the hell is that supposed to mean? Okay, so I created a command button. Its name's command 22, but it's supposed to be changed to calls. Okay, it's got a picture in it, but I'm going to go ahead and try to clear that. Yeah. Okay, transparent. Okay. I don't think there's any data attached to it. It's supposed to just simply, bring up an event procedure. Let's see what it does. Calls click, okay. There's an open form. Well, anyway, let's just see what it does. Open the calls form using the calls button on the contacts form. So it won't let me do it. Anyway, I don't know, but it's kind of weird that I had to go into code to actually deal with that. So it's like I said, I don't know, because I thought this was supposed to be kind of a visual thing, that didn't involve coding. So I don't know. Anyway.